This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore. If there's been one thing that has been different since Donald Trump came on the scene as a political entity over the course of the last 4, 5, 6 years, it's been the propensity toward violent talk and action on the part of his supporters. Without a doubt, there has been more hate crime. There has been more proclivity toward violence, whether it be the MAGA bomber, Caesar Sayoc, or the many calls to violence from right-wing extremists all across the country. And Donald Trump has fomented this motivation toward violence, toward talk of a civil war. And right-wing provocateurs have mimicked this and onboarded this language as their own. Yesterday, on his radio program, Rush Limbaugh advocated for secession and vaguely for civil war. And it is not just dangerous, not just bad for the country, but this is traitorous talk. This is advocating a split in the country. It's not only bad for the country, it also would be bad for their side. It would be bad for the Republican Party. It would be bad for red states and counties. And I'm going to get into that. But first, watch Rush Limbaugh just spiral out of control.
I actually think, and I've referenced this, I've alluded to this a couple of times, because I've seen others allude to this. I actually think that we're trending toward secession. I see more and more people asking, what in the world do we have in common with the people who live in, say, New York? What is there that makes us believe that there is enough of us there to even have a chance at winning New York, especially if you're talking about votes? I see a lot of bloggers, I can't think of names right now, a lot of bloggers have written extensively about how distant and separated and how much more separated our culture is becoming politically. And that it can't go on this way. There cannot be a peaceful coexistence of two completely different theories of life, theories of government, theories of how we manage our affairs. We can't be in this dire a conflict without something giving somewhere along the way. And so I know that there is a sizable and growing sentiment for people who believe that that is where we're headed, whether we want to or not, whether we want to go there or not.
Now, look, a lot of people are going to say that I'm overreacting, that he's not actually talking about a literal civil war with violence. Let me explain why I believe he is. First, hit the first part of his statement, that I actually think that we're trending towards secession. Doesn't have to be violent, right? The second part, though, a lot of bloggers have written extensively about how distant and separated and how much more separated our culture is becoming politically, and that it can't go on this way. There cannot be a peaceful coexistence. If it's not a peaceful coexistence, then it's, right? What's the other avenue if it's not peaceful? It would be violent. And a violent secession would result in a civil war, which he is advocating for. Now, This is Fantasyland. This isn't going to happen. Mainly for economic reasons. The Brookings Institute just did a study, just released an article. Biden voting counties equal 70% of America's economy. What does this mean for the nation's political economic divide? And it is stark when you look at these numbers, especially when they put them in graph form. A similar analysis for last week's election shows these trends continuing, albeit with a different political outcome. This time, Biden's winning base in 509 counties encompasses fully 71% of America's economic activity, while Trump's losing base of 2,547 counties represents just 29% of the economy. Votes are still outstanding. This was back then. Look at this table. Hillary Clinton won 472 counties to Trump's 2,584. And back then, it was 64% of the economy. Now, with Joe Biden getting more of a share of the vote, even winning more counties, he won 509 to Trump's 2,547, 71% of the United States economy is generated in blue counties, in blue districts, and not even 30% in blue, in red, pardon me. So look at this other graph, and I'll read along because it's describing the graph. So while the election's winner may have changed, the nation's economic geography remains rigidly divided. Biden captured virtually all of the counties with the biggest economies in the country, depicted by the largest blue tiles in the nearby graphic, including flipping the few that Clinton did not win in 2016. By contrast, Trump won thousands of counties in small town and rural communities with correspondingly tiny economies, depicted by the red tiles. Biden's counties tended to be far more diverse, educated, and white-collar professional, with their aggregate non-white and college-educated shares of the economy running to 35% and 36% respectively, compared to 16% and 25% in counties that voted for Trump. That is remarkable. So what are you gonna do, Rush Limbaugh? Where are you gonna go, brother? The economic engine of this country exists inexorably in blue districts, in places that you want to run away from. Where are you gonna go? U.S. News and World Report, to further the mantra here, they revealed some data in an article entitled Blue State Bailouts. Some states send billions more to federal government than they get back. 8 states send far more to the federal government through taxes than they see in annual federal spending. This is also remarkable and telling, because what's Mississippi gonna do? What's Alabama gonna do? What's Kentucky and West Virginia? What are they gonna do if the Republican Party promotes secession and civil war? Where are they gonna go? Who's gonna pay for them? Because they're not paying their fair share as it stands now. The biggest givers in our latest report, based on 2018 data, were New York, which paid $22 billion more than it received, New Jersey, which paid $12 billion more, Massachusetts, which paid $9 billion more, and Connecticut, which paid $8 billion more than it received. The low-income states that receive a lot of federal spending per person are primarily in the Southeast, where Republicans, save Georgia this time, but that is where Republican stronghold exists. The low-income states that received a lot of federal spending per person are primarily in the Southeast and include Kentucky, West Virginia, Mississippi, and Alabama. With lower than average income levels, residents of these states contribute less through income taxes. They also receive higher than average levels of spending from programs such as Social Security, Medicare, social assistance grants, and contracts. Where you gonna go, Rush? What you gonna do, brother? You got nowhere to go. You can't form your own nation. You'd be a third world country, unable to stand on its own feet. Civil war, secession, shut your mouth. You and the rest of the MAGA morons can whine and complain, but the fact remains that you're in here. You're in the United States, and your life is made better because of it. Your life is made better because of blue states like here in California, like New York and Connecticut, New Jersey, Massachusetts, Washington. Your life is made better. But you hide in Florida. Trump runs to Florida after he gets out of office. Doesn't make any sense. But making sense is not your job. Your job is to whip into a frenzy MAGA voters who scream about conspiracy theories. Your job is not to protect the country, to safeguard its citizens. Anyway, I would certainly love to know what you think. 714-576. Talking to you now, not talking to Rush Limbaugh. 714-576-4054. Email me daily at dollemore.com. I would love to know what you think. I'd certainly love to know if you think I'm off base about this. Support my work on YouTube here. If you are so inclined, please consider it. For fewer than $2 a month, you can become a channel member, and every little bit goes a long way. If I was able to marshal the size of my audience, I would be completely untethered from YouTube and their rules about monetization and what can and can't be said, or what, it would be great. Follow me on social media. Love to connect with you there. I love you guys. I'll see you next time. Until then, be genuine. Take care of one another.